Hi, this is Jill. Welcome to the Life After podcast, where we talk about moving from surviving to thriving. This podcast is for anyone who wants to learn, grow, to get tips and tricks about how to inspire you to become the person you want to be, and get clarity about exactly what you want in life. This is also the place to be if you want to be lifted up and encouraged to go out and do great work in the world. What has happened in your past does not have to define who you are today or who you become in the future. And in fact, what has happened to you in the past should, can, and will shape who you want to be. This podcast is also about bringing people together. It's about connecting all of you, helping you identify where you are in your process. What do you need to feel more engaged and alive in your life? More connected to the people in your circle? This is a community of those who are looking to improve our world in the way that is most meaningful to them. Why is this important? Because how we show up really matters. Bringing more service, kindness, and love into the world is critical right now. This is one of my all-time favorite quotes. Change one thing, and the whole thing changes. This is an update to the Mindset episode in Season 1. Mindset is everything, and as you've already seen, we come back to it again and again. Mahatma Gandhi once observed, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny." As Gandhi's quote shows, the elements of mindset are inextricably linked. We're going to break down the episode into 3 sections. First, what is mindset? Then, why is it important to keep a more positive or optimistic mindset? And third, how can you maintain that good mindset once you have it? And more importantly, how do you get it back when you're feeling off? Often, we just need a reminder about something we've learned, and this episode is an opportunity to revisit all about mindset. So, what is mindset? If you Google it, there are 453 million results. Yikes! For us, we're going to stick with mindset as a way of thinking or habitual set of beliefs. Mindset influences your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which impacts how you make sense of yourself and the world, which leads to your successes or failures. Another framework to think of mindset is using the acronym BETDAR. This idea starts with your beliefs, which leads to your emotions, which leads to your thoughts, which becomes your decisions, which make you take action, which leads to your results. I like the BETDAR model because it helps to remind us that there are several places where we can consider what's happening with ourselves and decide to adjust when we need to shift our mindset. The good or great news? You actually have the choice and the ability to determine your mindset. And even better, you can change your mindset. There is always a way. Now, it might not be what you think it's going to be, and that's okay. For those of you out there that think, "No way, I can't change my mindset," you might think to yourself, "It's too hard. I don't have the discipline. I wouldn't know where to start. I can't do it." I'd like to assure you that you absolutely can. I know this for certain. I know that you can because I've done it. I was a lifelong pessimist. Now, that might surprise you, specifically for those of you that have come to know me more recently. I can tell you, after spending the vast majority, all of my childhood and most of my adult years, as a glass is half empty, whatever can go wrong will, Murphy's Law pessimist, that I finally discovered something incredibly valuable. And that discovery came at one of the most challenging and transitional periods of my life. Almost a dozen years ago, my ex-husband left. And while you would think, as a lifelong pessimist, that this would somehow just reinforce all of those negative beliefs, that my abusive ex-husband leaving would cause me to be more of a pessimist, and yet, instead, what it did was completely liberate me. And miraculously, I figured out that I had a choice, that what happened to me and how I looked at it was entirely and completely my choice. Now, I want to be really clear, because what this doesn't mean is that you sit around like Pollyanna, imagining that, oh, everything is perfect. That's not what a positive mindset is. A positive mindset is viewing the world through a different lens and choosing to see what happens to you in a different way. It is being completely in reality, knowing that you're going to get knocked down. You're fully aware and in choice about what you do from there. It's trust in a divine source, be it God or spirit or the universe, however you experience spirituality, that even this, the most devastating and worst things we can go through, has its reason and we will be okay. A positive mindset can be a catalyst for change and growth and transformation in our lives. And I can tell you from experience, it definitely was for me. Do you want to shift your mindset? I wanted to move from being pessimistic to being more optimistic. What do you want? Having clarity about what you want is always the first step. I'm going to give you tips and tricks that I use to move from being a lifelong pessimist into someone with a positive mindset, and give you some examples that will hopefully help you improve your mindset. These tips will allow you to shift your mindset when you want or need to, quickly and easily. Now, I just want to do a note here and really convey that I'm not talking about mental health issues. I'm not suggesting that my tips for changing or shifting your mindset are solutions for mental health issues like depression or anxiety, OCD, PTSD, bipolar. To say something like that is really, if I'm saying to you, just change how you feel and shift your mindset, and you are experiencing one of those issues, that would be really just so insensitive. One of my kids suffers from anxiety, and I'm acutely aware that mental health issues exist. Addressing them is incredibly important, and I encourage you to get the help and support you need, and that's not what we're talking about today. Finally, my job as a coach and a speaker is always to challenge you a little bit, to help you lean in to change. Therefore, the tone of the podcast, and I hope you've already found this, is going to include kind of checking in with you and challenging you, always in a kind and loving way. Why is mindset so important? Because the implications of a negative mindset are huge. A negative mindset causes stress, flooding your body with stress hormones that also make you anxious. Mindset impacts our beliefs that help us navigate through the world. This causes consequences for our psychology, physiology, behavior, and performance. Who wants all that negative energy? Definitely not us. On the other hand, your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations are lenses to perceive the world. When you're constantly hearing and repeating stories to yourself about the way things are, that narrative gets daily reinforcement. Your overall mindset dictates your resiliency and how you generally make it through both adversity and day-to-day life. For example, when you approach the day with positivity, purpose, and intention, everything changes. Your perception shifts and impacts your response to any given situations. Let's look at the same situation from two different mindsets. You get up on the wrong side of the bed, you're feeling pretty grumpy, and now you're going to be late for work. You notice that you're hitting every single red light. You're rushed, and it's making you more and more stressed. You get to work 10 minutes late and are so frustrated and tense, you snap at your coworker. All day long, you can't shake that feeling of irritation, and nothing seems to go right. All you want to do is go home and crawl back into bed and forget the day. Now let's shift a little. You still wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and you know you're going to be late for work. However, you know that happens sometimes, so you're just going to do your best to get out the door as quickly as you can. You still hit the same number of red lights. However, you notice and are glad when you hit a few of the green ones too. You're still 10 minutes late for work. Instead of feeling that stress, you apologize to your coworker for being late, and they are kind and tell you it's okay. You're able to let it go and move through the rest of your day positively. So much so that you have the energy to go walking with your friend after work and enjoy the rest of your evening. Doesn't this sound like a much better alternative to the stress and angst of the frustrated mindset in the first example? Your mindset is not fixed. And I really recommend and invite you to check out the research of Carol Dweck. Actually, I think it's Dweck, D-W-E-C-K is I think how she spells it. You can shift, change, transform your mindset when and wherever you want so that you can create the life that you want. You absolutely have the choice and the control to do so. It's up to you to choose your responses. You get to decide, so do so intentionally. If you're serious about achieving success in any area of your life, you've got to learn to master your mindset, because your mindset can quickly change what you think, feel, and do. And fortunately, the more the same action is performed, the stronger your mindset becomes around and about that action. And if you struggle with the idea that change is difficult, notice that that is simply a mindset. As we head into our examples and our tips and tricks, take a minute and check in with yourself. Where is your mindset now? Do you lean towards being more of a pessimist or an optimist? And do you see the silver linings? There are so many ways that you can change your mindset. I'm going to give you 3 ideas that I have found to be particularly effective. The first step is to consider your habits. Changing a habit takes more focus and attention, and therefore it really isn't a quick fix. However, as you'll see from the example, it's highly effective to make lasting change in your life. So I encourage you not to dismiss it simply because it takes more effort or follow through. Depending upon who you follow, experts say it takes 21 to 66 days to stop a habit. Now, in my experience, you don't really stop a habit. You really replace one habit with another. And that's kind of how it feels in the beginning. And then once the new habit has been established, your mindset around that habit also shifts. I recently read the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and it was such a great reminder for how powerfully we can change our lives one small step at a time. Yes, there can be light bulb or aha moments. However, that's more uncommon. So if you're looking to make long-term change in your life and to really focus on getting what you want, taking one reasonable step after another will absolutely get you there. Do you want to hit your goal more quickly? I know it's super boring, but track it. This helps you to keep it top of mind and also allows you to so accurately pay attention to what your actual actions are and where you want to go. My second tip is all about music. Consider the power of music. Music has the ability to enhance or draw out our feelings. It also has the ability to change our mood, which is so fantastic. Because if you're dealing with a mindset that you want to alter really quickly, you can do so by putting on music that matches what you want to feel. I encourage you to set up some playlists ahead of when you need them, because in the moment that you want to really make the shift, inevitably, you won't likely even remember your favorite song. So have a few prepared playlists ready for yourself. I have one for classical music to get me in the mood to sit down and focus and study. I have another that is all for running and exercising. And another one that just gives me a pick-me-up when I need it and allows me to move and dance and rev me up. Remember, there are no negative feelings. There is a purpose for everything we feel. And when we accept that and lean into it, those quote-unquote negative feelings, instead of fighting them, it's much easier to get balanced and grounded again. So I also have a playlist that some would consider kind of sad or depressing. I give myself a song or two to feel all the feelings, which helps me to move through those more challenging feelings and back into a more optimistic outlook. My third tip, we talk about this a lot, is what you tell your brain believes. If you want to go into more detail on this, I did an entire episode on it in season 1. The basics are first to acknowledge that little gremlin voice in your head. And in the very beginning, to practice stopping it. Now, the whole purpose here ultimately is to give that little gremlin voice less real estate in your head. So I call that process of stopping it in the beginning, blunting the thought. Now, you're going to try this first because sometimes it feels too overwhelming to try to blunt that thought, stop that thought, and then replace it with a more positive one in that moment. So blunt that thought, and that will help distract yourself from the negative mindset. Focus on something different than your little gremlin's voice. One distraction can be imagining a brick wall or a door in front of the thought so that your brain is like really almost disconnecting from the thought you want to let go of. Give yourself lots of grace in this process. With practice, you'll notice that your little gremlin voice has less real estate in your head, which again is the goal. The next step is to replace the thought that you want to change into something more positive or forward thinking. Asking yourself the questions, what do I want or what do I want instead, will help give yourself some clarity. This is really powerful because it can be used when you're wanting to change your mindset regarding something small or something that feels really big. Over time, you'll see a shift in your general mindset. This doesn't mean you won't still have moments. We all have those moments. It means that you will have the power to choose your mindset when you want, and when it's not exactly how you want it to look, you have the skill sets and the tools to shift it back in the direction that you want to go. Now, these 3 habits are just a few of the ways that you can change and shift your mindset. And hopefully you'll find them to be effective ways to be able to practice changing your mindset whenever or however you need to. I'm always here to help. Please reach out to me if you would like some additional support, would like me to come speak to your organization or school, would like to be a guest on the show. There's a link in the show notes for how to reach me, or go to my website at locatecoaching.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode on mindset. Remember, Mindset is everything that you have a choice about. I appreciate you sharing these episodes. This podcast is a powerful resource for anyone that is looking to make changes in their lives. So please, please, please help me grow by sharing, liking, and subscribing. There will be new episodes on the second and fourth Wednesday every month. I promise that every episode I'm going to show up and help support you in your individual journey. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.